Hello and welcome to the show. I am back with another car taking on our Hot Wheels Showdown course, and today's vehicle I think stands a pretty damn good shout of challenging the Commodore. Whether it'll be quite enough to go fastest, I do not know, but I expect the Lotus Esprit to be a very quick car indeed. Yeah, I haven't built up one of these for... I'm trying to think if I've actually used it in any builds series before. The last time I used it was trying to build a car to complete every different sort of PR stunt, I think is where this car initially came from. Either way, we are going to want some Hot Wheels race compound tyres. Now, the downside possibly to the Esprit, it is a relatively high starting PI. Relatively high starting PI for a vehicle, but we will get 255s at the front, and I would imagine, yeah, 305s at the rear. They are some nice big tyres all round on this car. We are going to want to grab some aero parts. Naturally, any grip that we can get is very, very important. We are then going to be wanting the handling, brakes and suspension. Where the big question comes in is, what do we do about power? What do we do about weight in this vehicle? Do we go for weight reduction? Do we go somewhere in the middle? At the moment, I'm thinking somewhere in the middle, to be honest. I know it's only 11 PI, but let's go for mid-stage weight reduction and then a crap ton of power. Now, there are various options in terms of engines. You can go for the 6.2 V8. You can actually get the V10 in the car. I keep it in S1 class. I am surprised to see that. I was expecting that to be way too high, way too much PI for the Lotus to stay in S1, but S1 is quite a wide class. I've said this time again. You get a lot of options to do in terms of the parts you can get in the car and keep it in S1 class, which is nice to an extent, but yeah, there's tend to go a little bit crazy on certain vehicles. This one, I don't think we're going to be too crazy in terms of power. Now, technically speaking, you would probably be better off going for an engine swap PI-wise. However, for this series, I'm not allowed to swap the engines, so I, well, can't. Unless the vehicle can't get to the top of S1 class with its own engine, and this clearly will. We're up to... Let's face it, we're up to 600 horsepower, near enough at 2,600 pounds. That is a pretty big power-to-weight ratio. Not the biggest we have seen, but it's good, and I'm hoping we'll be very quick through the corners. I'll be disappointed if this car isn't stupendously fast through the turns, and if it can be very fast through the turns, near enough 600 horsepower is going to be good for making straight-line speed. So, yes, stats-wise, looking pretty good so far for our Lotus. So we are off to the skyscraper takeoff circuit for 5 laps, driving the Lotus Esprit V8, trying to go quicker than a 132.8. That is the target set by the Holden Commodore, and the Commodore has led for some time. As I said, if the Esprit can be quick enough, if it can be fast enough around these corners, just maybe it can challenge that Holden. It is a big ask, though. My biggest fear, my biggest suspicion of weakness for the Lotus is going to be that mid-range acceleration. Bloody hell, that's good through turn 3. Really good through turn 3. Well, not quite got turn 4 right, but yeah, the Esprit, while decent power, is not the most impressive figures we have ever seen. It's likely to be pretty quick, but it may not quite. Again, that's so much grip through. That's 140 miles an hour. Hell, yeah, it's fast through these corners. Anyway, yeah, mid-range acceleration is a potential danger zone with not having the greatest power-to-weight ratio we have seen. The likes of the Commodore had more power and similar weight to this car. Hell, we've had cars at 800-900 horsepower weighing far less than the Esprit. So it's never going to have the acceleration. It's not going to have the top speed either, I would doubt. Well, it's probably not going to be terribly slow, not as bad as some cars. I'm also not expecting 230 miles an hour out of it. It's simply not got the power to do that. but it has hopefully got the grip. It has hopefully got the corner speed, and it can maintain its momentum. Well, that's very close to the inside. How fast are they going to be? 213. Yeah, if it can maintain its momentum around the corner, it can negate some of those issues with acceleration as we spin the wheels out towards the line. It's a 35.3. That is a very, very quick opening lap. Hell, there are cars on flying laps struggle to do that sort of time. Now, of course, this lap, it's got such good turning. I've turned in way too soon for that third corner. And then we have issues on the exit. We're fine. This circuit, I've talked about this before, but if you are new to this series, a flying lap over a standing lap isn't the biggest difference in lap time that you will ever see here, because it's a very, very slow final corner. You're just not carrying the momentum across the start-finish line that you do at, let's say, Road America, for example. So, yeah, the differences in lap time aren't the greatest ever, but still going that quick from a standing start is very, very good going indeed. Let's slow it down for the crossover section. Do I want... No, I don't really want second gear through there. Now, this Esprit does have only a 5-speed gearbox, so they didn't opt for the full race transmission to give it 6 gears to save PI, to put that PI elsewhere. Now, that's not necessarily a hindrance. A lot of very quick cars have actually been running 5-speed gearboxes, the Sierra, the Ferrari Testarossa, and so on. It can help with minimising wheel spin. Having relatively long gear ratios is not necessarily a bad thing, although it can also mean, flip side of it, is that there may be corners where you don't quite have the right gear ratio at the right time to make sure that you do have enough top-end speed for that final run. And the Esprit second gear is not really working for me at the moment. I think we're going to have to really stay with third for everything but the very final corner. I think the rest of these turns, third and fourth, is going to be where it is at. Our first flying lap, considering it wasn't particularly good when we went exploring through turn 3 and had issues further round, a 34.1 is not too bad. It's not too bad at all, but we do still need some more speed. Now, that might be findable. How good God, that is fast through there. That is the quickest we have ever seen a car take. I thought that was doing 140. I looked at the speed, I realised it's doing 146. That's absurdo speed. Nothing has gone that fast in that section. The Esprit can really get changed direction well. It's going to get out of that crossover section. This is where it hurts a little bit. This is where we're losing time. We make time early on in the run, we then lose time through these corners. I don't think we want third gear there either, particularly, because it's just going to run out of revs and we'll have to change up anyway. Better just to leave it in fourth as we run towards the boost pads, run towards the loop. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Oh, get off there, get off there. Can we recover this? Come on, Lotus. Oh, it might just about have enough speed to make it around the loop. No, Gravity, we will beat you. We had a twisty, wonky, uncomfortable moment there. Damn it, that lap was looking pretty damn good for the Esprit. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Everything is good. It's we've got a couple of laps still. A couple of laps to improve upon. Yeah, there is so much quarter speed in this car. We do get a little bit unsettled through turn 1 and turn 2 are quite nasty corners around this circuit. Not uncommon to see cars have all sorts of issues through there. And yeah, we got a little bit unsettled on the way in. Nevertheless, sorry. We're going to get... That crest at the top can catch some of these higher grip cars out. I was not expecting that to just kind of give up and escape off towards the wall there. Bugger, this lap is not quite going perfectly well. It's likely to still be a very, very fast lap. We weren't as fast. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do that 146 miles an hour again. It was a, yeah, everything was absolutely perfect on the approach and we got away with it. But yeah, not sure I'm going to be able to do that one. Nevertheless, it was still very quick this time around. If we try... No, that's too early on the throttle again. It's going to get a bit of understeer. Now, while there is a lot of grip in this car, I can still very easily ask far too much of it. So got to be mindful of that as we fly our way across the jump. Good run off those second boost pads up to 208 miles an hour. And the Esprit needs all the help it can get. It's holding 189, which isn't the worst we have seen, but the Esprit always likely to struggle at that section. Big stop into the final corner we go. That was a 33.6, I think. Again, if we do not go faster on this final lap, or if it's another dirty lap on this final lap, I will go back frame by frame to get a time. None of the clips on the wall that I've done in any way help the car. It's only going to hinder it. It's lap time. That was absolutely mega through turn 3. We were literally on the limit of what I could do with the Esprit. There's 130 miles an hour held through that corner, which is not something that happens very often. Oh, this Esprit is brilliant. Thank you to whoever suggested this car. It is just incredible around this circuit so far. I don't want to change out of 4th as we run into this split section. I don't want to waste the time changing gear to only immediately get back on the brakes again and have to change some more. So I don't know if we buzzed the limiter. I think we actually got away without buzzing the limiter that time around. Oh, the back end let go on the way. That's not what I wanted to have happen. I dove in a little bit too shallow on the turn for that, and the back end very, very nearly got away from me as we head towards the loop for the final time. It's a good run once more, 208 miles an hour. The fastest we achieved there, up around the loop we go. Get as much speed as we dare. I think about 212 miles an hour. As we get to the bottom, 213, we go on the brakes. Oh, back end stepped out on me. Under braking once more. Ah! That was very, very close to a 32. I think it might have been a 33.0 from the Esprit. I just asked a fraction too much under brakes, and as we came into kind of the penultimate turn, the back end got a little bit squiffy, and I couldn't get it as neat as I would have liked through that final section. The Esprit is incredible, though. As expected, in many ways, it is the car that I thought it would be, I hoped it would be. Utterly incredible through the corners. I'm fairly sure turn 3, probably a new record for apex speed. That at the end of the first split section, definitely a record for apex speed. 146 miles an hour is 6 miles an hour quicker than, I think it's Mercedes 190E was one of the best cars there. It's about 10 miles an hour quicker than everything else that's gone through that corner. Yeah, mid-range acceleration isn't amazing. Top end is 10 miles an hour down on the likes of the Dodge Dart, the Integra and so on. But when you can carry this much corner speed, that's kind of a little less relevant. Still slightly, but yeah, that is a monstrous car. Position-wise, as I said, I'm having to have to go back, check frame by frame on all of that. I believe it is a very, very low 33. So it may beat the Ferrari Dino. I think it's probably ended up in 3rd place. It's very close. It's right up there with the very best of them. Is the Esprit. It is one hell of a vehicle, and I have thoroughly enjoyed taking it around this circuit. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.